There's a pretty one, Ulysses. There it is.
Hello, BookTube. I'm Sean the Book Maniac. Here I am recording on Zoom because I'm in my library. I'm recording on my laptop, and I find the recorder part of Zoom actually is more reliable than the camera video recorder on my new laptop, which often makes vocal, what's that word? Where the speaking, the audio and the video doesn't match up. Audio drift. So I don't want to drift away from you any more than this third glass of Irish whiskey might make me drift away from you. So hello, welcome back to my channel. Here I am with a late Thursday night version of an abbreviated Friday Reads. I will explain why, and in fact, the sum total of this video might be explaining why I'm not going to do a full Friday Reads. I've had a busy week. What landed in my lap on Tuesday was a memo, and I'm not going to get into all the ways that it was infuriating because the memo was so poorly worded and stuff that it took me 1,700 emails back and forth with the apartment management company to figure out exactly what was going on. But they discovered cockroaches, not in my suite. I haven't seen one, but in the building somewhere. So they're doing a building-wide fumigation or whatever they call it. And we all have to get our apartments, our suites ready by 9 a.m. tomorrow. It's currently 11:30 p.m. Thursday night. I'm 80 to 90% of the way there, but I have to do a little bit more before I conk out, and I have to be out of the apartment between 9 a.m. tomorrow and, I don't know, 3 p.m. or something. So that made the idea of doing a Friday Reads quite problematic. Well, I have often done a Saturday Reads in lieu of a Friday Reads, and that didn't feel particularly feasible because I'm working very hard on it's kind of a surprise. Well, it is a surprise. I don't know how many of you are going to be interested in it, but I'm very interested in it. I've been working very hard to get ready to launch this announcement / surprise on my channel, and I'm hoping to post a couple videos about that on Sunday or Monday of this coming weekend or next week. So please stay tuned for that. And I'm going to be really busy with that on Saturday. So here is my abbreviated Thursday night / Friday Reads, and brought to you by, is it called Mills? I think the Irish whiskey is Mills. The Irish whiskey is going down pretty well. Thanks for asking. Personal news, some of it is going to be kind of embedded within the surprise or special announcement videos that will be going up Sunday or Monday. But yeah, I've had a good week. Last weekend was incredibly exciting. My mom took me to my first ever powwow, and I loved it. It was an incredibly moving event, and I hope to go every year because it was just incredible. Here are a few very short little vlog about all that. wasn't that incredible? I mean, it was just some of you have been to powwows, you know all about it. It was the first time that I had seen it with my own eyes, and I just loved it. And I have to say that Indigenous men are often fabulously sexy and gorgeous. There were several layers to my response, but just all the reading I've done and all the ways that I've been trying to educate myself as a settler Canadian, just watching the incredibly talented dancing and the community that has grown, that is integral to this cultural and spiritual event called the powwow. I loved it so much. I don't have any other words for it at the moment, but it was a great way to get into the groove for Skoden 2022, which starts on Tuesday, November 1st, and I can't wait. The other event just happened tonight. So I've been scrambling around. That's an exaggeration. I, Sean the Book Maniac, have not been doing too much scrambling. I have a little bit of scrambling to do tonight and early tomorrow morning, but I have been helped to get ready for this cockroach fumigation. And by the way, no, I have not told Kenji that he will be soon or eventually moving in with me into a building that needed cockroach fumigation, but we'll just spare him those details and hope for the best. But Mom came over and my niece Amy came over, and they helped do a lot of stuff that I needed to do to get ready for this tonight. Before I go to bed, I have to clear off the kitchen counters, put that stuff in boxes, and wipe and clean the kitchen counters and sink. What else do I have to do? In the bedroom, which is not being used because I don't sleep in the bedroom, I sleep in my recliner chair in the living room. I have to pull the bed out 2 feet from the wall. That's going to take 2 minutes, 10 seconds to do. I have just gotten home it was about 2 hours ago. I did a fairly comprehensive marking of an assignment online for my new part-time job from Tokyo. And here it is, like I say, 11:30. I just sent that off. I think I made $5 and spent 2 hours doing the marking. The cost benefit analysis is a little bit sad there, don't you think? But earlier this evening, I went to McNally Robinson, the bookstore that's closest to my house, with my mother and with my dear friend Gwen for another book launch type of reading. And that was for this memoir by Margaret Macpherson called Tracking the Caribou Queen. And the subtitle is Memoir of a Settler Girlhood. Margaret Macpherson grew up in Yellowknife, which is in northern Canada. And she was wonderful. And this is a very political memoir where she is tackling settler colonialism in Canada from the perspective of remembering experiences from her childhood in Yellowknife, where she was surrounded by Indigenous Northern Canadians and had been acculturated by all the racist stereotypes that Canada instills in all its people. And she grew up, I think she's a little bit older, maybe she's the same age as me. I related to so much of what she read from this, and she was so anti-colonialist and anti-Canada. I talked to her when I got my book signed. I asked her whether she has a website, and she said she does. It's margaretmacpherson.com, and told her in a couple sentences that I have a booktube channel and that I would like to interview her. I won't be adding this to my Skoden 2022 TBR because it's not written by an Indigenous author. So I will contact her after I've read it, hopefully in early December. And you'll be seeing her on my channel because she said she would be delighted to talk to me. Some writers read their own work so powerfully, and she is definitely one of those writers. She was fiery. She was challenging. She was dynamic and exciting. I can't wait to read the book. If I wasn't several glasses into my Irish whiskey, I might read you a small excerpt, but stay tuned for my booktube interview with Margaret Macpherson in the coming weeks. So the fumigation thing just kind of screwed up my entire week. So I don't have a lot finished, and I still have, today is Thursday night. I got Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday to read, and I'm hoping to finish up a bunch of books that I'd hoped to finish up by today or by Friday, that I still have time to finish them alongside finalizing these announcement videos that are coming your way in a couple days. So what I can tell you today is that I've finished one and I've started one. I have finished this memoir by David Carpenter, Courting Saskatchewan, and the subtitle is A Celebration of Winter Feasts, Summer Loves, and Rising Brookies. This is one of the best books I've read all year, certainly one of the very best nonfiction titles I've read. And I think I'm not going to say another word about this because I'm going to be doing a full review, which will probably go up before my next Friday reads. I think this book would appeal to people who are not particularly interested in Saskatchewan, but who among you, now that Sean the Book Maniac has moved back to Saskatchewan, is not completely obsessed with Saskatchewan? But yeah, it was just fantastic, and I have a lot to say about it. Stay tuned. And I've started this novella that I'm going to be discussing in a Zoom chat with Curtis of Curtis Books and Books once I finish. I haven't touched base with Curtis to schedule that yet. It's the novella Caprice by Ronald Firbank. When the hell was it published originally? Well, this is taken from the New Directions edition of a collection of his novels, which was published in 1951. But he died in 1926, so it was originally published before his death in 1926. I'm quite sure. We'll have to look into the publication history. I am finding it much more accessible than I did what was it called? What was the other novella called? The Peculiarities of Cardinal Pirelli. Here's the cover gif. I think I mangled the title, but which I found so dense and abstruse that I had trouble with it. I'm not having any of that trouble with this. This is much more accessible, and I think I found out. Okay, I've just checked online, and it was originally published in 1917. It was Firbank's third novel or novella. It's much simpler diction and vocabulary, so I'm not feeling overwhelmed by all the research I had to do to read the Cardinal Pirelli novella. I'm enjoying it. Looking forward to the discussion with Curtis. And Curtis, if you're watching, I will be in touch with you in the coming days. That's all I have to say about my reading. Let me just tell you about what I'll be doing tomorrow/Friday. In lieu of filming my Friday reads first thing in the morning, I'm teaching a class to some students back in Tokyo at 7 a.m. local time here in Saskatoon. And then I have to do whatever I haven't managed to do tonight to get the apartment ready for the fumigation. And on the memo, there was this nasty thing. If you don't do everything on the checklist perfectly, you will be subject to a $125 fine. And don't get me started on how I feel about that thing. But and then I'm going to go to the university library and I will edit this video, and I'm going to take out some books in the library and return some that I've read or decided not to read, and look at cute boys, and I might go shopping with my parents. So that's the kind of Friday it's going to be. That's all I have to say. What do you have to say?